Schizophrenia broke me at first. I remember there was this feeling whenever I was first dealing with symptoms and I was diagnosed and they were like, you have bipolar and schizophrenia. And I remember during that time, it felt like a punch to the gut because it was like all of the things I heard about it, the stigma, the horrible accounts, the information that was available and the attitudes that were available at the time. I saw it as some sort of a death sentence. I had this like plan in my head of how my life was going to go, and schizophrenia just pulled the rug under my feet and I fell into a dark abyss, horrors beyond my comprehension and beyond the comprehension of everybody around me. I became a walking mess. I used to act in ways that were way more out of control. I had so many nights where I felt like it was the end of the world and there was no hope. There was no reason to do anything but sit and rot all day and just kind of let everything consume me, because why should I even try, right? Like, I'm a victim. I may as well just like fall into the pit and just let it take me. But it was really funny because in that moment of despair, the thing about schizophrenia was it was terrible whenever I first started experiencing hallucinations, voices, bouts of psychosis, delusion, all sorts of things. But it was in that tumbling and in that falling, burning in the flames of my own personal hell, that I actually found who I am. It is a bitter pill to swallow, but in life, there's no such thing as perfection, and there's no such thing as never getting hurt or never feeling suffering of some kind. And being thrown into a void like that, metaphorically, it was like I was in a cave and I was holding onto the walls, trying to make sure that every step I took, I didn't fall into a deep pool of water or cut my foot open. Mentally, of course. But I kept going, kept looking for that light. Through everything that I went through, my personal experience, the most important lesson that I ever learned was that pain, that unraveling, isn't really your end. And when you're in that pit of despair, this other kind of voice or this other thing can come to you and remind you of who you are when no one's around. When you stare at your own darkness for so long, it's not that you get used to it. You accept that there are parts of you that are just as deep, just as intense as any animal, any waterfall, any mountaintop. And if you can recognize what that is within you and feel that connectivity in your weakest moments and decide you're going to get up anyway, you figure out things you didn't even know about yourself, like strengths that you had that were hidden. You learn that you might not be as dumb as you thought you were, not as hopeless. The accepting of where you are when there's nowhere else to go and deciding to go up, that's what really brings you back to yourself. And so, as bittersweet as it sounds, and yes, it's uncomfortable, I don't look back at my life with regret, and I don't look at pain as the end. I always look at it as the beginning. Though I don't suffer the same way that I suffered whenever I was first hallucinating. When things are challenging, it's no longer the end of the world. When I hear voices, whispers, and see faces everywhere, it doesn't indicate to me that I'm an issue or I need to hate myself or victimize myself. It just is. And I'm going to do what I can with my life to live the best life I possibly can in honor of myself, my inner child, the people who love me, and with respect to being alive in the first place. So when it hurts, feel it, but don't let it define you.